Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Some news just in regarding the Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu fight. Thurman has pulled out. He was challenging, due to challenge Tim Tszyu I think it's 30th of March is the date, and he will be replaced by SEBASTIAN FUNDORA, who actually lost his last fight against Brian Mendoza. It's his only defeat. He got knocked out in 7 rounds. Despite getting knocked out, Fundora was due to fight for the vacant WBC super welterweight title against Serhai, or Serhi, perhaps it's pronounced Serhai. It's 2 I's on the end, so Serhai. Bachachuk, who has a record of 23 wins and 1 defeat. So I don't know how he got a title fight, Fundora. I don't know much about Mr. Bachachuk. He's from Ukraine, and he's got 1 defeat on his record, which was to Brandon Adams back in 2021. That was a stoppage in 8 rounds. But no, Fundora has been promoted, in a sense, in inverted commas, to the main event, which is against Tim Tszyu. And not ideal preparation for a shot at Tim Tszyu. Bearing in mind, Fundora was knocked out by Brian Mendoza in his last fight. 7 rounds. That was at least a year ago. What was it? April, May last year, maybe? March, April, May. But is anyone surprised that Keith Thurman pulled out of the Tim Tszyu fight? Frankly, I'm not. I'm not at all. I thought it was a horrible matchup anyway. Really strange matchup. Thurman, I thought he'd retired, or near as damn it retired, maybe retired without saying so. And then suddenly he gets this shot. I mean, he's got a glossy record, 30 wins, 22 KOs, 1 defeat to Pacquiao, no draws. But if you look back at his career, in the last 4.5 years since he was beaten by Pacquiao, he's fought once. One time. Or was it 3.5 years? 2019 was the Pacquiao fight, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's 4.5 years. 4.5 years. He fought Mario Barros, won a 12-round decision, and that was in early 2022. So he hasn't fought for 2 years, and suddenly he was meant to be fighting Tim Tszyu. I mean, you got to wonder how these people get these shots. Just to really, it's really odd. I mean, it's all about not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it? Because Thurman jumping in to fight Tszyu. Then he falls out, and then you've got Fundora, who was going to fight for a vacant belt anyway, moving up to fight Tszyu, despite being knocked out in his last fight. Fundora, he's a good fighter. The Towering Inferno, all whatever it is, 6'6" of him, whatever. And then you've got, on the undercard, you've got Rolly Romero, who God knows how he became. Well, we do know how he became champion. Thank you, Tony Weeks. Fighting Pitbull Cruz, and it's just, you've got Erislandy Lara against Michael Zarafa. Some weird stuff going on with these matchups, these world title fights. But anyway, just to recap, Tim Tszyu, who was going to fight Keith Thurman has pulled out with an injury, no surprise. Fundora, who was going to get a vacant shot at the WBC title, moves up to fight Tim Tszyu. Yeah, all very strange, all very odd. But yeah, Tim Tszyu, of course, is WBO champion. I should have pointed that out as super welterweight. I don't know. Maybe if I was Fundora, I'd have tried to pick up a WBC belt and then had a unification with Tszyu, maybe later on. But maybe they're offering him a ton of money to move up and fight Tszyu. I don't know. This is at the T-Mobile Arena, by the way, in Vegas. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think about this? It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? Again, Thurman. I'm kind of glad. I'd rather see Fundora fight Tszyu, to be honest, than Thurman, because Thurman, I haven't been interested in him in years. And like I say, I thought he'd retired. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I think Fundora, coming off that bad knockout defeat and the inactivity, is going to work against him seriously. But anyone who's that tall, and he does fight small. Let's be honest here. But if he can maintain, if he can rediscover some confidence, if the knockout defeat hasn't affected him too much, and it was a bad knockout. It was a very bad knockout by Mendoza. Nevertheless, it also was on the floor against Erickson Lubin, Lubin ended up retiring after 9 rounds. That was back in 2022. So Fundora likes to fight small, and it's going to suit Tszyu a lot, but someone who's that high with that reach, or 80-inch reach, if he can suddenly resist the temptation to get involved in a punch-up and actually try and fight long, he might give Tszyu some problems, because Tszyu will not have faced anyone who's 6'5", 6'6" in the past, who has. But you've still got to make him favourite at the same time, Tszyu. You've definitely got to make him favourite. He's only 26, by the way, Fundora. So this is, I think, a far more intriguing matchup than Thurman, who, let's be honest, is past his best, and huge gulps of inactivity, years of inactivity, really. Yeah, I'd rather see Fundora. Yeah, of course, Tszyu himself is in his prime. He's 29 now, so he probably ain't going to get any better. But he is only like 5'8", 5'9". Putting him in with someone who's 6'5", 6'6". I'm intrigued. Anyway, what do you think? Do you prefer Sebastian Fundora against Tim Tszyu, or did you want to see the Thurman-Tszyu fight? Let me know. Let me know who you think's going to win. I suspect most of you will think Tszyu will win, which my gut reaction, my immediate reaction is, yeah, Tszyu's definitely a strong favourite. Undefeated, of course, Tszyu in 24, 17 KOs, got some pop. And by the way, his last fight was against Brian Mendoza, who is the guy who knocked out Fundora. So it's all a bit of a round robin, isn't it? Tszyu beat Mendoza on points, relatively comfortable, 116, 112, 117, 111, I think. It's a couple of the cards, maybe. But Mendoza is a tough bastard. Brian Mendoza's a good fighter. And that was a good win for Tszyu, even though he had to do it via the distance. Yeah, it was good. I like Tszyu and I like Fundora, so I'm intrigued by this. But let me know who you think is going to win. Do you like the matchup? And yeah, leave your comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. I will enjoy reading your comments as always, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.